Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how your tolerance has dropped extremely low to this demonic vibration out here. It is becoming harder and harder to tolerate incompetent and unknowledgeable beings who do not understand the difference between right, wrong, creator, demonic. You are finding yourself in spaces to where your cutoff game has become so super high that it's like on infinity with a sword. Like, we at a point now to where we not tolerating jobs anymore, like certain beings at certain locations. We all understand, like, these jobs are plantations if it's not something that you love to do. And even when I say those things with something we love to do, most beings should be creating and starting their own. I know everybody isn't a leader, some has to follow, but you got to make sure if you at a job or a plantation that technically that's your leader, so you have to make sure that they're moving in the right vibration in order for it to be rewarding and fulfilling outside of just a paycheck. You know, a lot of these locations that we tend to go to, you know, to work at to get a couple dollars. I remember when I was younger, you know, we would tend to complain about being at certain jobs a little bit. And when I was younger, some jobs I would just not even go into. Like, if I felt like one day I don't want to go in, I'm not going to go in. I'm not calling, I'm not giving no heads up. Now, I don't even take on those kind of locations if the time spent isn't kind of close or equivalent to the finances. See, a lot of these things that we do is you know, the money could be okay, but look at how much time you're taking up. And on the other flip side of it, most of the time the money is not okay. So you're actually giving away what is more valuable to you, which is your time and your energy. Your time and energy is more important and it's more valuable than those couple dollars. Even though you need a couple dollars to live, when you're moving with Creator, it's always going to be doors and avenues that's going to be open for you. You know, it's infinite love and life when you moving with Creator. You know, so outside of it becoming harder to tolerate certain jobs, certain co-workers, I done had certain locations while I was going through this transition, because I was out of the plantation for like almost 2 years before I decided to start bouncing back through the plantations, because the way they got the money set up out here, you got to do more than what you was doing before. So right now, I'm actually in a point in my life where I'm making more money than what I've been making before. But because the way life's set up, it don't seem like I'm making very much progress on the outside. Even though inside spiritually, I feel way more lit, I feel way more fulfilled. I'm way more at ease when I have like obstacles coming my way that is pertaining to the system. The system could be, you know, the jobs, the courts, anything that has to do with being emotionless. But, you know, that's just speaking on as far as the jobs and things. It is becoming harder to tolerate regular people in life. When I bump around to some of these stores, some of these restaurants doing work, it's so much artificial energy being given that when you give real, genuine, sincere energy back, they don't know how to reciprocate it. And the way the universe receives it, because it wasn't genuine, you get that energy back in the gray area. Meaning, sometimes it could be a little bit more of the energy you was looking for, but usually it's going to be a lot less of the energy that you was looking for. I don't even know how to carry on conversations anymore once people rub me the wrong way. Like, when I used to have short hair, I used to have waves. My hair is just naturally waved. I didn't have to spend all my life brushing to get waves. But if somebody took the brush and they went opposite of my waves, that's going against the grain. It's gonna mess the texture up the way I have been brushing my hair. That's what we're bumping into and dealing with a lot of these beings. You know, a lot of people, it takes for them to have a bunch of hardships with people that's close to them. But for me, it's a compilation of people that's close to me and then random people that I just bump into out here in everyday life. Recently, I had somebody who I had stopped talking to for a few months. They had reached out to me on Instagram. We had met in real life, but they reached out to me on Instagram. You know, I told them to message me because you know me personally. I'm not about to carry on no conversation with you through Instagram, and we've been exchanged numbers a long time ago. So we had been slightly communicating. It hadn't been anything. It'd be like a text message every other week or something like that. It wasn't anything major. But I remember one day I had gave this being a call, and they didn't answer. They didn't text back. They didn't call back. They didn't do any of the above. I didn't get mad or upset. I was just at a different place in my life. I was like, well, I didn't have to re-crack that door back. I just deleted the number. You know, it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But recently, like earlier today or yesterday, I didn't bump into them. They rolled past me. So I've had my car far too long now. It's when your car becomes like your vessel. So if people saw me walking on the street like this, they would recognize me because of this vessel. I've had the same car for like 3-4 years. So now when people see my car, they automatically know that it's me, so it's recognizable. So you know how that is. You out in traffic, people just ride past, bumping the horns, honking horns, yelling. You don't know who it is. Even when you glance, you can see a slight viewing of the vehicle and maybe a slight viewing of the driver or passenger, but you don't really get the full vision, you know. And I guess they rolled past me earlier and I didn't know. I just heard the horn honk and then seen somebody wave, but I haven't been engaging with nobody in that manner, so I couldn't really process who it could have been. And the way it's set up out here, I'm always on my guard. I'm always on my toes 24/7. But then they text me afterwards, hey, I seen you. I didn't have any response for it. I didn't have anything to say to it. I didn't have any energy to give to it. Because in my world, I've ascended so far past where we communicated at that you didn't ask a question, you just made a blanket statement for me to respond to. And I'm sick and tired of engaging with low-level beings who are extremely incompetent. Like, this being knows some kind of spiritual knowledge. You know, I always put them in the witchy category because they like to do their own little thing in the gray areas that corresponds with the witchy team. But it's like, if you are somebody who can't own up to what you do and you can't like take accountability for spilling milk when that's small, I don't have any love and light for you. I got love and light for the universe, but I don't have any to give to you. And when I seen the message, I didn't know who it was. I was talking with this other guy from this gig. He had seen me working and he wanted to offer me a position to do some work with him. And I was like, oh, all right. So me and him had been communicating, so I didn't think that it was this other person until I seen their name in our text message log. Because even if you delete threads, your log still pulls up of y'all conversation. So I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Why are they messaging me? You seen me good. You keep that for you in your eyes. What am I supposed to respond back and say, oh, hey, how's it going? I don't give a fuck how's it going. I called you months ago. There was no response. Now you see me. Now you want to say, hey, seen you. Okay, good for you. Keep that in your spirit world. You don't need to share that with me. It has become so easy to cut people off and to stop involving and being emotionally invested into people who do show slight interest in your vibration. Don't have to be sexual. I mean, just slight interest, meaning like some stores and job places I walk into and people just all want to communicate and engage with me. You know, that doesn't have anything to do with sexual energy. I wasn't speaking of sexual energy. That's why I had gave the other example. Because I know Western society and culture, everything runs straight to, oh, sexual, sacral. It's like, no, everything that is always there. And it's weird to me when they say that, you know, men control relationships, women control access to sex. But these are for the guys who've never been getting no girls and no play their whole life. Because for me, I probably only had one situation where I felt forced, and that was when I was being involved with my BM and I didn't want to engage. But every other female I dealt with, if I'm not interested, I'm not interested, and it's not going down. So that means both parties have control of the two-way street. Some of this information be out here is just to confuse you and to keep you lost, you know. But as we continue to progress in the middle of this battlefield, your tolerance and your patience is going to run extremely low. And don't feel as though like it's something wrong with you because you find yourself angry or getting riled up. Because you don't think it's anything wrong with you when you're getting happy or you're getting excited or you're joyful. You know what I mean? So you just, what happens is when you experience in the last three that I named, you're able to express those freely. You know, like you're in an open field and it can just flow in any direction. But when you expressing the other energy and motion, it's like an obstacle course. Because you like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to knock these hurdles down. You know, I don't want to bump into these cones. But you're doing it at such a fast speed. It's kind of like when people get clumsy. You know, their body, your body, which is its own living organism, is not in sync with the spirit. The spirit is not in sync with the body. This is why when we get scrambled up here, we get clumsy. We start bumping into stuff. We start dropping stuff, fumbling stuff, because we lost synchronicity with our body and who we are itself. So it's kind of like losing control of the wheel when you're driving. You know what I mean? If you've been driving for a while and you drove in snow or you done drove in rain, you understand that you can hydroplane on water and you can slide on ice. Yes, you still have the wheel, but you don't have as much control. You're basically trying to surf the hydroplane out, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to overcorrect or overturn, because then that'll make the accident happen or to make the situation a lot worse. You know what I mean? And it's no different on ice. But my tolerance, the way your tolerance and your patience work with dealing with this demonic energy, because instead of you telling yourself every time you had these situations, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I am not from this place. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like your intelligence, your knowledge just supersedes every single being that you seem to come across. It's almost like you are the tree, they are the grass. You notice how high the grass grows. You see how high the trees grow. And it's like, it's only but so much communication a caterpillar is gonna have with a butterfly once it transitions. Caterpillars is stuck on the ground. Butterflies like, yeah, I come kick it with you for a little while, but I'm gone, nigga. I wanna go soar the air. I wanna feel the wind beneath my wings. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more that they can do and expand and grow. They don't wanna hang out with low-level vibrations all the time. And not saying like caterpillars and things that cannot get off the ground. Oh, look at that butterfly. That's crazy. You see how we just spoke that into the universe? That's what I be saying. That's what we call them. These are names that we name, other humans name these animals. If we wanted to start a whole new society, we could get a catalog, we could write our own cataloging book and start renaming. We could say that this isn't tree anymore. We could call this, I don't know. We can call it whatever we want to. Say we wanted to just say asphalt. So all of this we see is now asphalt. Now we start teaching and programming the next generation the names of this. These are just the things we called it as. So when you call it tree, it simplifies it and it almost takes away the actual meaning of it and what it actually can do. So when we call these trees, you gotta remember, it's kind of like when people call other people criminals. You know what I mean? Like, some people just got caught doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. But that doesn't formulate the identity of that actual being. You know what I mean? So just because I slip and fell once doesn't mean I'm clumsy. I've been running and doing things my whole life. So if you want to label me as clumsy because I fail one time, and I've been on this realm for years on years and years, and that you probably only caught my third fall in my life. You know what I mean? That doesn't make me clumsy. You know, so it's a lot of this is a lot deeper than what it is, and that's why I say it becomes harder to tolerate incompetent or low vibrational people and beings. You know, they already are unreceptive to knowledge and information that you are trying to give, but they are very receptive and willing to intake all of the drama, all of the chaos, all of the noise, all of the gossip. You know what I mean? I had one person that I used to engage with a little bit. They used to always tell me they old. I'm like, bitch, you're 23, 26. You're not old. You fat, but you're not old. So what you should be saying is, okay, I need to get more healthier, you know, or I need to exercise. I need to work out more. But when I communicate with people who are just so fucking low vibrational, it makes me want to be so brutally honest that you run into a fucking corner. Because that's how I feel on the inside, constantly trying to lower my vibration. So instead of me lowering my vibration or meeting you in the middle, I'm going to sit way the fuck up here where I'm at, and I am going to send a rope down or a ladder down to try to pull you up. And if your ass can't get up the rope, then you need to do some reflecting yourself, because I'm already up here chilling, eating grapes and watermelon. You know what I mean? A lot of us have been working on our patience for a long time, and we still feel like, okay, oh man, I'm still not patient enough. You know, I still need to. Y'all gotta understand, like, if we wasn't patient, we would already be off of this realm right here, because we'd have did something and reacted in a way that would have caused the system to take action, or that would have caused other people to take serious action towards us, which they would have wanted to remove us from this realm. And not saying that people haven't wanting to do that, but I mean actually taking the initial steps. A lot of these demons is scared to do that, so they try to get us to self-sabotage. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I mean? We are extremely patient. We just have no more patience to tolerate low vibrational beings who are incompetent and are willing to learn, and who are unwilling to find a better connection with Source, Creator, God, Allah, Jesus, Moses, whatever name and title you put on it. You know what I mean? But tap in everything down below. Peace and love to the kings of the world.